going to go ahead and get started with our prompt and the information so that we can get into the journaling. So today's prompt is, what risks do I need to take? Now, with this, most people default to the idea of a risk being something really big. So I'm going to take a risk. I'm going skydiving, or I'm going to move across the country. But in reality, when we look at the definition of risk, it is super nuanced. And so one of my favorite techniques in journaling is to really look up the definition of a word and dig into it. So I'm going to read you the definition of risk, or at least one of them. This is the one for the verb. So risk is exposing someone or something valued to danger, harm, or loss. So while it definitely fits the idea, okay, skydiving is risky and moving across the country is risky, but let's take the word loss because it's part of the definition of risk. We can begin to see how when we substitute the word loss, we are blocked in doing risky things in our life because loss can be emotional, physical, real, imagined. There's all these definitions for loss that can be preventing us from doing what we want to do. So let's take the example of you're not applying for a job because you have a fear of losing face if you didn't get it, losing self-esteem if you didn't get it, losing pride if you didn't get it. And so you're not taking the risk of applying for the job of your dreams because you're worried about all the loss that it would trigger. So what I want you to do is maybe start to explore things that you're not doing in life and why that fits into the definition of risk. Is it a danger? Is it a harm? Is it a loss? And really the other thing that you can do here with the what risks do I need to take is look at your end goal. So if your goal is to get to a certain level within your company, but you're not applying for the jobs, why aren't you taking that risk? So let's start and explore some risks. So I'm going to turn on some music for 10 minutes. And then at the end, I will leave time for questions and whatever else you might want to chat about. So here we go. Okay, that was a touch over 10 minutes. How'd it go? Anybody have questions? If you want to go ahead and put those in the comments, I will try and answer as many as I can. While I'm waiting to see if anybody has questions, just a couple of notes, even of the stuff that I was just journaling on. And a lot of mine was existing fears of risks that I knew about risks that I wanted to take, but they keep circling back around. And so when that's the case, which is often the case, we don't have this fear of a risk and it just instantly goes away. It recircles in different formats. And so one of the things that I was reminded of as I was going through writing about what risks I was actually currently taking, but are new, and so it's a little bit anxiety causing, it reminded me that we have to trust as we're taking these risks. So when you do identify what risk you need to take and move forward through, you have to trust that you're getting what you need at that particular moment in time. It might feel really uncomfortable. You might want to run the other direction and not touch it at all, but you have to trust that we're presented with what we need to do when we're ready for it and when it's supposed to move us spiritually forward. We're not going to be given the opportunity to do something unless there's some sort of benefit to us. Now, that doesn't always mean we know what the benefit is or that the benefit is even positive, but there is a reason we're supposed to be moving forward. So just keep trusting. If you do find that you are stuck in fear, I do have a course on fear on my website. You can go to discoverhealthrive.com. I think it's fear class, but I'll put it in the section below if you want to check that out. And it gives you some journal prompts and some information on fear to help you work through those fear steps. I'm actually getting ready to add more content to that course. So if you want to hop on in there and grab it, you can. And it looks like we don't have any questions today. So I'm going to go ahead and close us out. I am doing another journal with me on Thursday. Thursdays is actually at 2 p.m. So I hope that you join me there and see me. And this will be available on my channel as soon as it is done processing. So thank you guys so much for joining me today.